My biggest stress with Bentley, with these surgeries and Brisbane, was the travel alone was such a big thing, and we're worried, it takes a lot of time to get here and back, and with a newborn travelling is not fun. My name is Rachel Donald and I'm from Theodore, Queensland. Bentley has a cleft lip and cleft palate. My hometown doesn't offer treatment for cleft lip and palate. Our closest hospital doesn't either, so Brisbane is the next closest town that offers that support and surgeries. Driving 7 hours with a baby would be a nightmare in itself. He does well travelling, but that long in a car, and then to try and settle him before surgeries, would be so stressful. Most Little Wings staff are volunteers is amazing, that they give their own time to help people in need, that they don't have to do that, but they choose to, so that's the most we could ask for. So definitely travel in style as well. Oh, Bentley would say thank you a million times over. He would be so thankful he doesn't have to go in a car for 2 days and that he gets to fly with all the lovely people.
Sunlight dances on the balcony as I wait for thee to come home. I fumble my words, yeah, my mind's a mess when you're in that dress. Glad you're home. Will you stay with me and never leave? You walked into my life and I am glad you came, glad you came. When you're not around I've been broken, glad you came, glad you came. I was lost till I fell. Had me wondering why I feel like home. I hold you close so you're by my side till the end of time. Before we go, will you stay with me and never leave? You walked into my life and I am glad you came, glad you came. When you're not around I've been broken, glad you came, glad you came, glad you came, glad you came, glad you came. I'm glad you came.
In the last 12 months, we've delivered over 2,370 missions. We've supported over 8,000 children in accessing healthcare that simply wasn't available in their hometowns. The days are long, but the goals and the outcomes are incredibly powerful. Little Wings is an organisation that's run by the community for the community. We're 90% volunteer-led, and in that mix is 88 pilots and drivers that keep us in the air and on the road every single day of the year. Everyone really pitching in to make sure we had the tools we needed to thrive and deliver a high-quality service supporting children as they needed it, when they needed it. We're a conscious company. We want to make sure that we offset our carbon footprint. Yes, we fly planes, that's the reality of it, but we want to make sure that we look after people and the planet. So this year we offset our carbon footprint by 2 tonne and we planted thousands of trees across New South Wales and the ACT. Morning, Ed.
Hi Claire, how's it going?
Hi, my name's Ed. I'm one of the volunteer pilots here at Little Wings. Personally, I've had a sick son who's had access to hospital quite easily, but I know for many families they don't have that access, so I like to be able to help out and bring those families close to their hospital appointments.
He's actually being way too modest. Our commercial pilots are so incredible, and last year we won Pilot of the Year with the Australian Aviation.
You know, I'm so proud to be part of the Little Wings team. And of course, our name is Little Wings, but we do big things. In our fleet of planes alone this year, we did over 500,000 kilometres across Australia.
Hi! Little Wings is supporting families all across regional and remote locations, some of them travelling 6, 8, even 10 hours just to see a doctor. This is why the Little Wings service is so important, making sure we connect families from the bush with healthcare services if and when they need it. But we also deliver Medical Wings, a program where we fly the doctors from the city to the bush to deliver essential clinics. And in last financial year, we delivered 248 clinics.
70 children that were flying with Little Wings last year no longer need the services and are now healthy and happy.
Little Wings work really closely with all the hospitals as part of the Sydney Children's Hospital Network. But here in Newcastle, we work really closely with John Hunter Children's Hospital. Over the last 12 months in 2024, we took over 100 teams out to deliver clinics across the region, making sure that kids had the care they needed in their hometown wherever possible, but also making sure we delivered training and really built capacity in regional communities. In addition, we supported over 100 children, all of them accessing care here at the Hunter Hospital, making sure they had the tools, the treatment and the interventions to really thrive and recover and become everything that they can be. We're really proud to work with John Hunter Children's Hospital.
Just want to welcome you to the hospital today and say thank you so much to Little Wings and Medical Wings for what you do for our families and our staff across Hunter, New England and across New South Wales. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful, thank you. Little Wings supports children from all across New South Wales, the ACT and Queensland, but also too for children in the Northern Territory and Victoria that can't access the healthcare locally. Little Wings are there to make sure they can access care across New South Wales. Little Wings provides air and ground transport, and with our great partners at Hyundai Help Kids, we did over 250,000 kilometres by road, making sure that children could get from hangar to hospital comfortably, safely and on time for every mission. That 250,000 kilometres is equivalent to doing 16 laps around Australia.
Hey there, it's good to see you. Your Little Wings plane is waiting for you.
In 2012, we had 1 aircraft. Today, in 2024, we have 4 and 1 coming online in Queensland. Not only that, we're diversifying our fleet, making sure we can take whole teams of medical specialists in one go to make sure kids have the multidisciplinary care they require.
Welcome to your Little Wings flight. I'm your volunteer pilot James and the aircraft is ready for you.
At Little Wings, we're always looking for innovative ways to help fuel our planes. And we set the challenge this year to collect 150,000 units, recycling them to help us fuel the planes and look after the planet. And you know what? You smashed it. You exceeded over 1 million recycled units and supported over another 100 families across regional and remote New South Wales, ACT and Queensland. Year on year, Little Wings continues to see an increase in service demand by about 25%, meaning more and more children across regional and remote New South Wales, ACT and Queensland continue to need our help and support. On our busiest day this year, we did 21 missions in 24 hours. Of course, these come with huge expenses, around $30,000 to deliver such a service in a 24-hour period. And it's been you, your continuous support, your contributions, and championing and believing in our service that's helped us make the difference. So we're hoping you'll continue to support us, because every dollar really does make a difference.
Wings is a charity that puts health first, but today it was all about happiness. Santa swapping his sleigh for a plane and heading to the state's Central West for a special delivery.
At Bankstown, light aircraft are usually reserved for the smallest VIPs, but today it's the big man catching a lift. Santa Air launching from the West Sydney Aerodrome and heading 400 kilometres inland to Wellington. Children's charity Little Wings with a special red eye service helping the red suit hit the sky.
We're on a mission.
We're on a mission. Let's get this show rolling.
At home with her family, Macy Manning is as brave as kids come, but momentarily overwhelmed.
Look what we've got here.
Thank you.
Wow.
Did you ever think he'd show up at your house?
The 9-year-old, a frequent flyer.
I've been top 40.
You've been to hospital 40 times.
It started from every single week to every single 3 weeks.
So she was in a car accident when she was about 10 months old.
Macy's long fringe hiding aggressive scars that require lifelong care.
We were spending thousands in petrol money, and Little Wings has helped so much financially.
Smiles aren't really her forte, so when she does smile, it is wonderful to see.
In the last year, Little Wings notching up nearly 2,400 flights transporting kids to hospital.
This really keeps our team going. We have supported about 8,000 children this year across regional New South Wales and ACT in Queensland.
My son was permanently in the hospital for 2.5 months. I could not have received anything more than what they've done for us.
I'll take him over to the car in a minute, okay?
Today, volunteers treating the whole community.
It's a great community, and I don't think that it gets the love that it needs, so we're more than happy to help.
What's going on here?
There's bubbles.
Why are they doing all this?
Because it's Christmas tomorrow.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Little Wings but big hearts this Christmas, a brief reprieve.
If any kid deserves it, I think it's her.
Job done?
Job done. Merry Christmas.
In Wellington, Ruth Wynne-Williams, 9 News.
I remember calling my mum after I heard the news, and I basically couldn't even speak to her. I had a panic attack, to say the least. I ended up in a ball on the floor crying. My partner was an anxious mess. He ended up throwing up in the toilet. Imagine the feeling, I guess, and the disbelief and the stress of being told that your firstborn baby, newborn baby that's preemie, is extremely unwell and will need to travel for medical expenses for at least the next 5 years of his life, if not longer. And then to also account that we are quite literally in the middle of nowhere. We are hours away from the closest town. I saw the Little Wings plane landing in Chinchilla Airport. I truly couldn't believe that they had flown all this way to help our family. What is it? Is it a plane? What's it doing up there? It is an immense gratitude that I could feel when I saw that Little Wings plane touch down. I don't think I could even describe how much that has taken so much stress, so much anxiety, worry off of our plate, especially mine. I've suffered with anxiety for quite a long time, so to know that I'm not going to be stressed about getting stuck in Brisbane traffic, or I'm not going to have a screaming baby for 4 hours in the back of the car, and to know that if I need help, Little Wings is there, it has been absolutely amazing. To all of the volunteers at Little Wings, I don't think I could express just how amazing you guys are. I don't think any of the other Little Wings families could express how amazing you are. You guys are the true definition of selfless, caring, amazing. You guys have made not only our lives, but so many other lives amazing.
What are your dreams, George?
Just to go home. Watching the Panthers play always makes me feel happy, and I will dream one day to meet one of the players.
Here, the grubber from Kenny, and here comes Henry! Liam Henry gets it!
I was also 9 years old, had aspirations to play in the NRL. Everything that George has been through, he's absolutely battled, so to do this for him, it means the world to me. About to meet George, can't wait. How good.
In July, you had a
Bone marrow transplant.
bone marrow transplant.
And I spent 53 nights in hospital. I miss playing football myself. I think I'm going to be playing again next year.
Today's going to be a great day. We're going to make some dreams come true. How are you? Good. What's going on? Hello.
Hi!
Oh, good. That's
A real
awesome.
life Penrith player.
Yeah, cool.
Get in with him.
Here we go. It's pink like the one we won in the grand final, so this one's for you. There you go. No worries at all. I hope it fits you. Here's your favourite?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Hey George, Nathan Cleary here. I know Liam's going to see you today, so I just wanted to send through a quick message wishing you all the best. Hope you're doing all right. I know it's a tough time at the moment, but you're an inspiration to all of us, including myself. Also, thank you for all your support. It's much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed the grand final this year, and yeah, hope you have a good day with Liam. So good on you, mate. Much love, and yeah, all the best.
When Savannah was in kindergarten, her whole life was turned upside down. Diagnosed with a tumour in her kidney.
It was scary the first time, going in a little plane and knowing that she was unwell and having to rely on other people to get us to medical appointments.
Living hundreds of kilometres from Sydney, Little Wings was the only hope for the mother of 4 from Orange.
Little Wings didn't just help us get to our appointments, they took the stress off leaving the family, organising the children. What am I going to do with the kids again?
Fast forward almost 2 years and Savannah is now in year 2, enjoying school time alongside her classmates in Orange.
Go out back and play on the monkey bars.
When they say she's cancer free, I think I cried more when they told me she was cancer free than when we were told that she had cancer in the first place.
Today stepping back into the Little Wings plane for the first time since her journey with cancer began.
I like looking out the window.
The kids look forward to flying, so they forget where they're going, they forget that they're going to the hospital for treatment, they just look forward to jumping into the aeroplane and getting treated like a rock star in their own little private aeroplane.
An almost fully volunteer service, Little Wings relies on fundraising to keep its wings in the sky.
We don't want to say no to anyone. So every mission we do costs us $1,500. It's a lot of money, we know, but when you're immune compromised, when you're flying over long periods of time, to be able to be scooped up, taken to hospital and back in 24 hours.
With a fundraiser taking place on April 20 at Orange's Ex-Services Club to help kids like Savannah. Sophie Norris, Win News.
pilot here at Little Wings. I'm basically living a dream. I get to help people all day and I get to fly planes, which is pretty awesome. What was that again? Little Wings has a team. I remember even when I was learning how to fly back in like 2015 and 16, seeing Little Wings planes around. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be able to join such an amazing team. Volunteering at Little Wings is by far the most rewarding thing I think I've done in a very long time, because what we're meant to do. You know, it's who we are as Australians, you know, as a family together, we used to help each other. Like, words can't describe how good it feels to work with Little Wings.
We just wanted to say a massive thank you to all of the volunteers, the drivers, the pilots, everyone behind the scenes. This journey is definitely not easy, being so far away from home.
It means everything. It makes everything so much easier.
The organisation is 90% volunteer-led, with pilots and drivers working every day of the year. Wayne Cotterill has completed 500 flights. He says every single one is special.
Jeff, one of our longest drivers, completing literally hundreds and hundreds of missions.
I'm now a driver with Little Wings, which is a very useful service, and I've driven many families over the last 6.5 years.
Knowing that she was unwell and having to rely on other people to get us to medical appointments.
Living hundreds of kilometres from Sydney, Little Wings was the only hope for the mother of 4 from Orange.
They are the best service to fly with.
Little Wings, return and earn.
A little donation goes a long way. Well, I am famous.
So you're saying commercial pilots who are flat strapped on their days off jump in these lighter aircraft to bring these poor little kids to the big smoke for treatment? That is incredible.
It is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's really humbling to see people coming out and lending their time and talent.
My biggest stress with Bentley, with these surgeries and Brisbane, was the travel alone was such a big thing, and we're worried, it takes a lot of time to get here and back, and with a newborn travelling is not fun.
For Little Wings and some of the kids I've met through there, that some are no longer with us and some are still fighting their battles. Amazing. This one's all for them.
Nah, Troy, but you are.
Yeah, it was awesome.
For all you do, mate.
The acquisition of this plane will enable an additional 800 families across Queensland to fly and obtain healthcare close to home.
Tonight is an extraordinarily special event. Firstly, can I welcome Adrian and Kira and also Kira's parents, Kevin and Bernadine, to our event tonight. The reason we're here tonight is because of the wonderful donation that you have made. And the donation of this magnificent aircraft will help thousands of children over the coming years.